The distant hum of the emergency broadcast filled every corner of the United Earth Command Center. Admiral Sarah Chen stood motionless before the massive holographic display, her weathered hands clasped tightly behind her back. The swirling blue projection showed thousands of alien vessels surrounding Earth's orbital defense network, the Galactic Council's peacekeeping armada. "They're hailing us again, Admiral," Lieutenant Rodriguez reported from his communications station, his voice steady despite the tension crackling through the command center. "Same message as before." Sarah closed her eyes for a moment, remembering the Council's ultimatum delivered just hours ago. Submit to alien oversight and restrictions on human expansion, or face immediate military action. 300 years of human independence hung in the balance. "Put me through to all Earth Defense Forces," she ordered, her voice carrying the weight of 27 years of military service. The familiar red broadcast indicator blinked to life. "This is Admiral Chen to all Terran forces. By now you've all heard the Council's demands. They claim our rapid expansion threatens galactic stability. They say humans are too unpredictable, too dangerous to be left unchecked." She paused, watching the enemy fleet's formation tighten. "But we know the truth. They fear us because we've achieved in 3 centuries what took them millennia. They fear us because we refuse to bow to their antiquated traditions and arbitrary restrictions." Throughout the solar system, in ships and stations and colonial outposts, millions of humans held their breath. Since first contact, humanity had fought tooth and nail for its place among the stars. They'd survived first contact wars, economic sanctions, and countless attempts to keep them confined to their home system. But they'd persevered, expanding faster than any species in known history. "The Council believes we'll back down to preserve our trade routes and diplomatic ties," Sarah continued, her voice growing stronger. "They think we'll choose comfort over freedom. They're wrong." She nodded to her tactical officer, who began transmitting pre-prepared orders to the fleet. "Humanity didn't come this far by submitting to threats. We didn't reach the stars to become servants." On screens across the solar system, tactical displays lit up as Earth's defense grid powered to full capacity. Hidden shipyards deep in the asteroid belt burst into activity, revealing vessels that officially didn't exist. From the outer planets, stealth platforms that had been waiting years for this moment silently activated. "To the Galactic Council," Sarah's voice carried across the void to the alien flagship, "humanity rejects your ultimatum. We will not surrender our sovereignty. We will not accept your restrictions, and we will not bow." The alien vessels began to move, their formation shifting into attack positions. But Sarah allowed herself a slight smile. They still hadn't detected the real human fleet, hidden in strategic positions throughout the system. The Council had gravely miscalculated, assuming humanity would play by their rules of engagement. "All ships, battle stations," she ordered, watching as Earth's visible defenses powered up their weapons. "The Council wanted to see what humanity is capable of. Let's show them." As klaxons blared and crews rushed to their posts, Sarah Chen felt the weight of history pressing down on her shoulders. The next few hours would determine humanity's future among the stars. But looking at the determined faces of her bridge crew, she knew humanity's spirit would not be broken. The Terran Empire had not come this far to surrender now. The battle for Earth's independence was about to begin, and the galaxy would never be the same. The first shots weren't fired by either side. Instead, a brilliant flash erupted from Pluto's orbit as automated defense platforms revealed themselves, launching a barrage of electromagnetic pulses that rippled through the Council fleet's rear guard. Dozens of alien ships suddenly went dark, their advanced systems temporarily paralyzed. "First blood," Lieutenant Rodriguez whispered, watching the tactical display. The Council's response was immediate and devastating. Their forward ships opened fire, energy weapons cutting through space toward Earth's visible defenses. But Sarah had anticipated this. "Execute Maneuver Phoenix," she commanded. Throughout the solar system, hidden gravitational disruptors activated, bending the incoming fire away from critical installations. It was technology the Council didn't know humans possessed, salvaged and reverse engineered from a derelict precursor ship found decades ago in the Kuiper Belt. Sarah's mind drifted briefly to the classified briefing where she'd first learned about humanity's secret technological advances. The Council had always assumed they held an insurmountable technological advantage, but human ingenuity had quietly closed that gap. While publicly playing the role of an emerging civilization, Earth's scientists had been working tirelessly in hidden facilities across the solar system. "Admiral, we're detecting quantum communications from the Council fleet," reported Commander Hayes from her science station. "They're calling for reinforcements." The commander's hands flew across her console, analyzing the transmission patterns. But something's wrong. Their signals aren't reaching beyond the system. Sarah nodded, satisfaction evident in her expression. Project Blackout is working then. Let's see how they handle fighting without their precious hive mind coordination. The quantum communication jammers, another secret innovation, were already proving their worth. A sudden alert drew everyone's attention. The Council's flagship was moving forward, its massive form dwarfing the surrounding vessels. On the main screen, a familiar face appeared. High Commander Zixtal, his crystalline features arranged in what passed for a smile among his species. Admiral Chen, his translated voice carried artificial warmth. "Your resistance is admirably spirited, but ultimately futile. You must understand, this is not merely about control. We've seen this pattern before. Young species advancing too quickly, reaching too far. It never ends well." "If you're so concerned about our welfare," Sarah replied coldly, "why did your intelligence ships attack our colony on Europa last month?" "Those were civilians, Commander." The revelation caused murmurs among her crew. The attack had been classified, blamed officially on a reactor malfunction. Zixtal's crystalline features flickered, the equivalent of a frown. "A regrettable necessity. Your people were too close to discovering certain historical truths that could destabilize the entire galactic order." Before Sarah could respond, urgent signals began pouring in from the outer system. The hidden human fleet was reporting unusual energy readings from the Council's rear vessels. They were preparing something big. "All ships, maintain position," Sarah ordered, her mind racing. The Council wouldn't risk destroying Earth. The planet's strategic position and resources were too valuable. But they might try something desperate to force a surrender. Commander Hayes' voice cut through her thoughts. "Admiral, we're detecting quantum fluctuations consistent with a mass teleportation event. Scale is massive." She looked up, eyes wide. "They're trying to bypass our defenses completely." Sarah's jaw tightened. This was the moment that would define not just the battle, but humanity's future. The next few minutes would reveal whether their preparations had been enough, whether humanity's hidden strengths would be sufficient to maintain their independence. The quantum fluctuations intensified, and Sarah Chen prepared to give an order that would change the course of human history forever. "Execute Protocol Prometheus," Sarah commanded, her voice cutting through the chaos of the command center. Throughout the solar system, hidden quantum field generators activated, creating a complex web of interdimensional barriers. The Council's mass teleportation attempt slammed into this invisible wall, their forces scattering across space in confusion. "Direct hit on their quantum displacement matrix," Commander Hayes reported, a hint of triumph in her voice. "Their teleportation grid is destabilizing." On the main display, the Council fleet's neat formation had dissolved into disarray as thousands of ships rematerialized in unintended positions. But Sarah knew better than to celebrate too early. The Council hadn't maintained their dominance over the galaxy for millennia by being easily defeated. As if confirming her thoughts, the alien vessels began shifting into a new configuration, one she'd never seen before. "They're forming some kind of spiral pattern," Lieutenant Rodriguez observed, his hands flying over the tactical console. "Energy readings are off the charts. Whatever they're planning, it's big." The Council's flagship reappeared on the main screen, but this time High Commander Zixtal's crystalline features showed no attempt at diplomacy. "You leave us no choice, Admiral. If humanity cannot be controlled, then perhaps a demonstration is needed. We found that species become much more cooperative after watching one of their colonies vanish." Sarah's blood ran cold as she realized their intent. The spiral formation, the massive energy buildup. They were preparing to use their planet killer, a weapon whose existence had only been rumored until now. But which colony would they target? Multiple council vessels breaking formation, Hayes announced urgently. They're heading toward Mars, the red planet, home to 12 million human colonists, hung vulnerable in space. Sarah had prepared for this too, but the next move was crucial. If she revealed their final defensive capability too soon, the Council would adapt. Too late, and Mars would become an example to every species that dared to defy the galactic order. Admiral Rodriguez's voice was tense. Mars Command is requesting orders. Their civilian shelters are at capacity, but evacuation ships need at least 15 minutes to clear the atmosphere. She wouldn't have 15 minutes. The Council fleet's spiral pattern was nearly complete, energy readings reaching critical levels. On her private display, Sarah watched as hidden sensor platforms recorded every detail of the weapon's charging sequence, information that would be invaluable if they survived. All ships maintained position, she ordered, watching the countdown tick away. Her crew looked at her with a mix of trust and barely concealed fear. They couldn't see the full picture yet, couldn't know about the experimental technology buried beneath Mars' surface. The Council weapon reached full power, its energy signature drowning out every other reading in the system. High Commander Zixtal's voice echoed through the command center one final time. "Remember, Admiral Chen, you chose this." Sarah's hand hovered over the console, everything hanging on perfect timing. Too soon or too late, and millions would die. She thought of all the classified reports, the secret preparations, the decades of hidden technological development that had led to this moment. The Council weapon fired, a beam of pure destruction racing toward Mars. Sarah Chen took a deep breath and made the call that would either save humanity or doom them all. "Initiate Project Phoenix," she commanded. Now, Project Phoenix activated with a silent flash that rippled across Mars' surface. As the Council's planet killer beam struck the red planet, something extraordinary happened. Instead of destruction, the energy was absorbed by a planetary shield unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. A combination of reverse-engineered alien tech and human innovation. But what happened next left even Sarah speechless. The absorbed energy began flowing through a network of hidden conduits beneath Mars' surface, following patterns designed by Earth's best scientists. The entire planet glowed with strange, shifting light. "Admiral," Commander Hayes called out, her voice trembling with awe. "The Martian defense grid. It's not just deflecting their attack. It's transforming it somehow. These readings don't make any sense." On the main display, Mars pulsed with increasing intensity. The Council fleet's spiral formation began to waver as their sensors registered the unprecedented energy conversion. High Commander Zixtal's face reappeared, his crystalline features showing genuine alarm for the first time. "What have you done?" he demanded. "This technology, it's impossible. Unless," his voice trailed off as understanding dawned. "The precursor ruins on Europa, the ones we tried to destroy. You didn't just study them, did you?" Sarah allowed herself a grim smile. "You should have been more thorough in your attempt to hide the truth, Commander. We found more than just ruins. We found their message. About you, about the Council's real history." The command center fell silent as Sarah revealed humanity's greatest discovery. "We know the Council didn't unite the galaxy. You conquered it. The precursors weren't extinct. You destroyed them because they tried to warn emerging civilizations about your true nature." But before Zixtal could respond, urgent alerts blared across every console. The energy absorption on Mars had reached critical levels, far beyond what Project Phoenix had been designed to handle. The entire planet now blazed like a second sun. "Admiral," Rodriguez shouted over the alarms, "we're detecting quantum signatures matching the precursor records. Something's happening to the Martian core." Sarah's momentary triumph turned to confusion. This wasn't part of the plan. Project Phoenix was supposed to merely redirect the Council's attack, not whatever this was. She watched in mounting concern as new energy patterns emerged from Mars, patterns that seemed oddly familiar. "Sir," Hayes' voice was barely a whisper, "these readings, They matched the activation sequence described in the precursor archives, the ones we could never fully translate. The Council fleet was already retreating, their formation completely broken, but Sarah barely noticed. Her attention was fixed on Mars as ancient machinery, dormant for millions of years beneath the planet's surface, began to awaken. She thought they had understood the precursor technology they'd found. Now she realized they had only scratched the surface. Their defiance of the Council had triggered something far beyond their control or understanding. Admiral. Hayes called out urgently. I'm detecting similar energy signatures activating throughout the solar system. Mercury, Venus, Jupiter's moons, they're all responding to Mars. Sarah Chen stood at her command station, watching as humanity's fight for independence transformed into something far more profound. They had wanted to preserve their freedom. Instead, they might have just started a chain reaction that would reshape the entire galaxy. And somewhere in the depths of space, ancient forces stirred, awakened by humanity's desperate gambit. The command center's main display flickered with cascading data as ancient mechanisms, hidden beneath the surfaces of planets and moons throughout the solar system, hummed to life. Sarah watched in awe as geometric patterns of light connected the celestial bodies, forming what could only be described as a vast, cosmic circuit. Admiral. Hayes reported, her voice filled with wonder, the precursor technology. It's not just a weapon system. It's a key. We're detecting quantum tunnels opening throughout the system. They're creating some kind of network. High Commander Zixtol's transmission cut through the chaos, his crystalline features now cracked with fear. You don't understand what you've done. The network was sealed for a reason. They're coming back. They'll destroy everything we've built. Sir, Lieutenant Rodriguez interrupted, multiple contacts emerging from the quantum tunnels. They're massive. The tactical display filled with new signatures, vessels of impossible size and design appearing throughout the solar system. But instead of attacking, these new arrivals positioned themselves between Earth's forces and the retreating Council fleet. A transmission arrived, using frequencies that shouldn't have been possible. The holographic figure that appeared was humanoid, but composed of shifting patterns of light and energy. Children of Earth, the being spoke, its voice resonating at a frequency that seemed to touch the soul. You have proven yourselves worthy. Where others submitted to tyranny, you chose to fight. Where others accepted lies, you sought truth. Sarah stood straighter, feeling the weight of history upon her. You're them, aren't you? The real precursors. You didn't die out. You transcended. The being's form shifted like starlight on water. We evolved beyond physical form, yes, but we could not directly interfere with younger races. We needed a species with the courage and ingenuity to activate our network on their own. You have exceeded our hopes. The Council fleet was now in full retreat, but the precursor being paid them no attention. Instead, it turned to address all of humanity through their communications network. Your species now stands at a crossroads. The network you've awakened can reshape reality itself. We offer you a choice. Join us in transcendence, or use this power to forge your own path. Sarah felt the enormity of the decision pressing down on her. Humanity had fought for independence, but this was beyond anything they'd imagined. Looking at her crew's faces, she saw the same mix of fear and wonder she felt. There must be a third option, she said finally, straightening her uniform. We're not ready to transcend, but we won't abuse this power either. Instead, we'll use it to ensure no species faces the oppression we did. We'll help build a true galactic community, not an empire. The precursor being's form brightened. An unexpected choice. Perhaps that is why you were the ones to awaken us. It turned toward the retreating council ships. The old order ends today. The age of humanity begins. As the words echoed through space, the quantum network pulsed with new energy. Earth's colonies lit up like beacons, connected by threads of light to the ancient technology that had lain dormant for millions of years. Humanity had sought to preserve their independence, but they had achieved something far greater. They had become the guardians of a new galactic dawn. Sarah Chen looked out at the stars, forever changed by what humanity had unleashed. The fight for Earth's independence had evolved into something far more profound, a revolution that would reshape the very fabric of civilization itself. And somewhere, in the vast depths of space, the Council's empire began to crumble, as countless suppressed species looked up at their night skies and saw Earth's light shining like a beacon of hope across the galaxy. In the days that followed, humanity faced the monumental task of adapting to their new role in the galaxy. The Terran Empire, once fighting merely for independence, now stood as mediators between the transcendent precursors and the physical realm. Sarah Chen, promoted to Grand Admiral of Earth's new interstellar fleet, found herself at the center of this transformation. The Council's once mighty empire fractured as suppressed civilizations, inspired by Earth's defiance, rose up to claim their freedom. But unlike their former oppressors, humanity chose a different path. Instead of conquering, they extended hands of friendship, sharing the precursor network's benefits with all who sought peaceful cooperation. It's ironic, Sarah mused, standing in the newly constructed Galactic assembly on Mars, built precisely where the Council's weapon had struck. They tried to prevent us from expanding because they feared we'd upset their order. In doing so, they caused exactly what they feared most. The assembly chamber buzzed with activity as representatives from hundreds of species gathered to discuss the future. Some were former council members who had rejected their leadership's tyranny. Others were newly freed civilizations eager to join the growing alliance of free worlds. Lieutenant Rodriguez, now captain, approached with a data pad. The latest reports from the outer colonies, Admiral. The precursor network has already revolutionized our development. Travel times between systems have been reduced to hours instead of months. Energy concerns are a thing of the past. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Some Council loyalists still resisted, launching desperate attacks from hidden bases. Yet with each passing day, their numbers dwindled as more of their former subjects chose to join Earth's growing coalition of free worlds. The precursors themselves remained distant observers, appearing only occasionally to offer guidance when asked. They had made it clear, humanity's choice to remain physical while wielding their technology had created a unique bridge between realms. It was a responsibility that weighed heavily on everyone involved. "We're detecting another transmission from the Andromeda Galaxy," Commander Hayes announced during one of their daily briefings. 3 more civilizations requesting membership in the Alliance. They say they've been watching Earth since our stand against the Council. Sarah nodded, remembering the fear and uncertainty of that crucial moment when she'd given the order to activate Project Phoenix. None of them could have imagined it would lead to this: humanity becoming the guardians of a new galactic order built on freedom and cooperation rather than control and fear. The precursor network continued to reveal new secrets, but humanity remained committed to their chosen path, neither transcending nor dominating, but serving as bridge builders between the physical and energy realms. It was a role that suited their adaptable, innovative nature perfectly. As Sarah stood at the observation deck of the new Earth Command, watching ships from 100 different worlds moving through the quantum gates that now orbited every major planet, she felt a deep sense of pride. Humanity had not only survived but had helped forge something entirely new, a galaxy where independence and cooperation existed in harmony. "Ready for the next council session, Admiral?" Rodriguez asked, approaching with a stack of reports from the latest expedition into unexplored space. Sarah smiled, watching a group of young cadets from various species training together in the station's zero-gravity chamber. This was what they had fought for, not just human independence, but the freedom for all species to reach their full potential. "You know, Captain," she said, turning away from the window, "I think we're ready for anything the galaxy throws at us now." And as if in response, the precursor network pulsed with gentle light, a reminder that the greatest adventures still lay ahead. The Terran Empire had defied an ultimatum and found something greater than independence. They had found their destiny among the stars.